416 legislators in the 12th Parliament to publicly declare their COVID-19 status after taking the test last week. This is after reports that have been circulating on social media indicating that 17 members of Parliament had tested positive for coronavirus. However, pathologist Lancet, who had been commissioned by the Parliamentary Service Commission to test MPs, indicated that none of the legislators have turned positive so far. But as KTN senior political reporter Chris Thairo now tells us, some of the lawmakers are in panic mode, insisting that every MP must declare their status if any sitting will be taking place anytime soon.
Panic and anxiety has now gripped members of the 12th Parliament after unconfirmed reports leaked that at least 17 legislators had tested positive for COVID-19 after taking their test last week.
Corona time.
And now, one by one, in a bid to avoid blanket condemnation, the legislators who have received their results have decided to go public.
Those of us who have tested negative, including myself, Senator Orengo and others, have declared their status, which is very important. It's very important because, one, as leaders we must take responsibility for our actions, and as leaders we expect that once you know your status, then the rest of the world should know, so that you do the right things under the guidelines given by the Ministry of Health.
I did test on Friday at Bunge, and I got my results yesterday through my email, and I'm negative. I think I've displayed the results on my social media, and I've actually talked to my doctor this morning just to inquire that did the results come from him or they were coming from somewhere else, and he has indeed confirmed my results are negative.
And I have a copy of my results here, so that anybody who have any doubts, here it is. But it does not end there. It means that regularly, if there is any reason for me to take another test, I'll willingly and voluntarily take it.
The leadership of Parliament had submitted the names of at least 50 legislators for testing, some of whom had arrived from the UK on official business trip, while others had interacted with Rabbi MP Kamuti Mwamkwale, who tested positive for the virus and is already in isolation.
The results are disclosed to the person personally and sent on email. It is important for our colleagues to state their positions, those who want, because we tested voluntarily. But in the next 14 days, for those who tested negative, we will also do another test.
There were reports that some of our members and maybe staff, they have tested positive. And I just urge them to come out. I mean, we need to destigmatize this coronavirus. It is not a death sentence.
If you have any reasons to suspect that you have the symptoms, to get tested, and if need be, self-isolate and voluntarily go into a quarantine. That is the only way.
However, at the bottom of their test results, there is a disclaimer that reason for not detecting COVID-19 might be absence of infection, poor quality specimen, inappropriate timing of specimen, and that repeat testing is recommended only if clinically indicated.
The community spread of the disease is the new concern. And that is why I insisted that leaders, particularly who will be required either to have a sitting in Parliament or leaders who might, by nature of their work, engage the public, their status should be known. It would be very irresponsible of leaders to walk around and their status is not known and cause the spread of the virus, just like the Kilifi deputy governor.
Myself, I've received so many calls. This phone has not stopped ringing from my constituents, from my friends, families. They are just wishing me quick recovery. So I think sometimes this is not the right time for propaganda. This is not the right time for fake news. We have that time where we spread propaganda on leaders, but really, this is not the time.
Meanwhile, Lancet Kenya, a medical facility commissioned by Parliament to conduct testing for all the legislators, has come out to dismiss reports that out of the samples that have so far been tested, 17 have turned positive. According to the facility, anyone who turns positive is informed individually by the doctors. With the 12th Parliament now on the spot to come up with concrete measures that will cushion Kenyans from the COVID-19 pandemic, it is not in doubt that the new developments will pile pressure on members to publicize their COVID-19 status. Chris Dairo, KTN News in Nairobi.
The Big Q.